Field, where the sun is shining and we're just getting started with baseball action. Today, the Washington Nationals take on the Chicago White Sox. On the mound for the home side is Noah Schultz, and standing in to lead off for the Nats is James Wood. Play ball. Schultz starts things off with a first-pitch sinker, and Wood lifts it out to left field. Sam Antonacci is there to make the catch. That's one out for the Nationals. Up next is Curtis Mead, the second baseman. One away here in the top of the first, bases are empty. Schultz ready to deal to the righty. Schultz brings the heat, a 94.5-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball painted right at the top of the strike zone, called strike one. Mead watches that one go by, and the count is 0-1. Schultz tries to get Mead to chase with a cutter outside, but Mead lays off. That brings the count to 1-1, with still one out in the top of the first. A fast sinker at 94.8 miles per hour misses way outside. Ball two. So the count shifts to 2-1 with one out in the top of the first. Mead gets a piece of that sinker, fouling it back. That brings the count to 2-2. Schultz tries to fool him with the sweeper, 84.4 miles per hour, but it breaks too far inside and low. That's ball three. We've got a full count here on Curtis Mead. 3 balls and 2 strikes with one down in the top of the first. What a battle that was. Full count, and Schultz blows a 95.1-mile-per-hour fastball right by him on the inside corner. Mead never pulled the trigger. That's 2 away now. Now at the plate is the first baseman, Andres Chaparro. 2 outs already in this opening frame, empty bases, as Schultz looks to finish off the top of the inning. Schultz opens up against Chaparro with a blazing fastball clocked at 96 miles per hour, but it's just outside. Ball one. The count is now 1-0 with 2 outs. Chaparro connects on the cutter, sending a high fly ball to left. Antonacci makes the call, camps under it, and makes the grab to end the inning. So a quiet first inning for the Nationals. We're heading to the bottom of the first. No score. Hello, baseball fans. Welcome to Rate Field. We're ready for the bottom of the first inning. No score yet in this one. Stepping to the plate for the White Sox is Andrew Benintendi, hitting .224 on the season. He'll be facing Jake Irvin, the right-hander for Washington. We're set to go, nobody on, and no outs. Irvin starts Benintendi off with a fastball, and he fouls it back. That's a quick strike to begin the at-bat. Count is 0-1. Irvin tries to get Benintendi to chase a cutter, but it's way high. The count evened up at 1-1. Irvin misses again with a fastball, this time wide outside. Benintendi is ahead in the count, 2-1. That's a gorgeous sinker on the paint. Benintendi was taking, and that's standard issue strike 2. We are locked up at 2-2. Irvin tries to put him away with a curveball, but it just doesn't break enough and misses low. So the count is full, 3-2. The payoff pitch coming up. Got him! Another sinker freezes Benintendi, and that's back-to-back called strikeouts for Irvin to start the inning. One down now in the bottom of the first. Scoreless ball game. Now batting, the first baseman from Japan, Munetaka Murakami. He's swinging the bat well with a .256 average and brings a lot of power with 11 home runs. Can he get something going for the White Sox here with one out? Irvin opens Murakami with a fastball that misses high. Clocked at 93 miles an hour. Count is 1-0. And Irvin is missing again, this time with a cutter just off the plate. Murakami is in a great position here, 2 balls and no strikes. Ervin fires back with a nice curveball on the outside corner. Murakami takes it for a called strike. The count moves to 2-1. Murakami connects on a curveball, but it's a one-hopper right at second. Curtis Mead handles it cleanly, throws to Andres Chaparro at first for the second out. A quiet start for the White Sox, 2 down in the first. Coming to the plate now is Miguel Vargas, the third baseman. He's hitting .209 on the season with 5 home runs. White Sox trying to generate some offense here with 2 outs and the bases empty. Ervin opens Vargas with a fastball that rides high, clocked at 94 miles an hour. Ball 1. Count is 1-0. Ervin comes back with a 92-mile-an-hour sinker and paints the outside corner for a called strike. Vargas holds the bat, and the count is even at 1-1. And Vargas rips it down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. It bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. Miguel Vargas keeps the inning alive with 2 outs, representing the first scoring threat for the White Sox. So, with runner on second and 2 outs, here comes Colson Montgomery, the shortstop. He's hovering right around .239 on the season, but he's flashed some power with 7 home runs. Big chance to drive in the first run of the game right here. Ervin starts Montgomery off with a cutter, and it's a beauty for a called strike, right in the high corner of the zone. No balls, 1 strike. Ervin tries to climb the ladder with a fastball, but it's well above the zone. Montgomery takes it for a ball, evening the count at 1-1. Big pitch coming up with runners in scoring position. Ervin buries that curveball in the dirt, but Ruiz makes a nice block to keep it in front. Vargas stays at second. The count goes to 2-1. Montgomery with a great opportunity to put Chicago on top with a hit right here. Oof, that inside curveball got him. Montgomery heads to first after being hit by the pitch. Now the White Sox have runners on first and second with 2 outs. A big spot coming up here. And here's Everson Pereira getting his first look of the game. What a spot for the White Sox. Pereira's hitting .286 on the season with 3 home runs. 2 on, 2 out, and a single could very well start the scoring. Ervin throws a first-pitch sinker on the corner for a called strike. Pereira watched it. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, runners on first and second. Pereira gets under that sinker and pops it up. Nasim Nunez, the shortstop, drifts under it at the edge of the infield and makes the catch. That'll retire the side. White Sox strand 2. After 1 inning of play, there's no score between the Nationals and the White Sox. Hello, baseball fans. We're starting the top of the second inning here at Rate Field. No score between the Nationals and the White Sox. Leading off for Washington is Brady House. He'll be facing the lefty Noah Schultz to start things off. And Schultz misses with the fastball right there, 94 miles per hour, so the count is 1-0 to House. There's a sharp line drive to right center, and it drops in for a hit. Peters gets a glove on it in center, but it deflects away, allowing Pereira to collect it in right. House is on first with a single. So that brings up Dalen Lyle, with House on first with nobody out. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Let's see how the Nationals will play this. Schultz starts him off with a changeup, way outside, and the count is 1-0 to Lyle. And Schultz is missing again, this time high with the fastball. So Lyle is ahead in the count 2-0. Schultz gets back in the strike zone with a foul sinker up high, 93.5 miles per hour, so the count moves to 2-1. Ball, low, says the umpire. That cutter was just outside the zone. Lyle has worked a great count here, 3-1 with a runner on first. And Lyle battles right there, fouling off that cutter at 89 miles per hour. So the count is now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes, and runner on first could be moving on the pitch. And with the count full, Schultz tries to keep House in check at first, but he dives back safely. The tension is building here in the second. The payoff pitch? Got him! Frozen on a sweeper on the inside corner. A big third strike for Schultz. That's the first out of the inning. House is still on first. And up next is Jacob Young, looking to push that runner House along. 1 out, Brady House on first, and we're still scoreless in the top of the second. Schultz paints the corner with that cutter, 90 miles per hour, and it's 0-1 to Young. Another called strike on that cutter, this time 88.7 miles per hour. Schultz is wasting no time, quickly getting ahead of Young in the count, 0-2. Time called here by the batter, Young, stepping out of the box to reset before facing this 0-2 count. Schultz is really bearing down right now. Fastball misses high, 94.7 miles per hour, so that breaks the string of strikes from Schultz. The count is now 1-2. Schultz brings the heat, 95 miles per hour, and Young swings right through it. Back-to-back Ks for Schultz. 2 away now for the Nationals. House is still on first. Next up is Joey Wiemer, as Noah Schultz rolls along with 2 straight strikeouts. Can Wiemer keep the inning alive for Washington? Schultz pumps in a fastball at 93.4 miles per hour for a called strike. Seems he might be trying to steal a strike there on the first pitch. The count is 0-1 to Wiemer. Schultz is absolutely commanding the strike zone. Getting ahead of Wiemer is 0-2 with another called strike. That cutter at 89.6 miles per hour just caught the edge. Schultz is looking to strike out the side in order here. Time called again, this time by Wiemer. He's trying to disrupt the dominant Schultz on the mound, who's ahead 0-2 in this count. 2 outs, runner on first still, and still no score. Schultz throws over to first, trying to catch House napping, but he dives back safely. Still 0-2 on Wiemer with 2 gone in the inning. Schultz tries to overpower Wiemer with that fastball, hitting 95 on the gun, but it misses high and away. That brings the count to 1-2. Wiemer stays alive for at least one more pitch. Schultz comes back with a fastball, but it's just off the plate, 94.9 miles per hour. So they've battled back and it's 2-2. After an 0-2 count, Wiemer has managed to even it up. Runner on first will likely be running on the pitch here. Swinging shorts 3. Schultz tricks him with a beautiful sweeper down in the dirt, and Wiemer can't hold up. So despite a single, the Nationals can't capitalize in the top of the second. Schultz strikes out the side. We're still scoreless going to the bottom of the inning. All right, folks, bottom of the second inning here at Rate Field. Still scoreless between the Nationals and the White Sox. Leading off for Chicago is the left fielder, Sam Antonacci, facing Jake Irvin for the Nats. Bases are empty and there are no outs. Let's see what develops here. Irvin starts Antonacci off with a fastball, clocked at 91 miles per hour, but it's outside for ball 1. 1-0 count. Antonacci didn't hesitate there, swinging right through a high fastball. Irvin pumps it in there at 91, and we're even up at 1-1. Looks like Antonacci wants a moment, stepping out of the box to reset. The count is still 1-1. And he paints the corner with that fastball. Irvin freezes Antonacci with that one at 92, and now he's ahead in the count, 1-2. Antonacci fights that once off. A cutter at 87 over the plate. The count stays 1-2 as he stays alive. Irvin is really commanding the zone right now. Antonacci lifts one to left field. James Wood drifts under it and makes the catch for the first out. One away. That brings up the second baseman, Chase Meadroth. One out, bases empty as we continue through the bottom of the second. Jake Irvin still on the mound for the Nationals. Irvin starts Meadroth off with a sinker, right in there for a called strike at 91 miles per hour. No balls, one strike. Ooh, and it looks like we have a challenge. That pitch was called a strike, but the White Sox are asking for a review. The sinker from Irvin was clocked at 92 and looked pretty close from here. Let's hold tight and see if the automated ball strike system confirms the call. Well, the challenge is unsuccessful. Automated system confirms that sinker was in the strike zone, so the strikes stand. That makes it an 0-2 count. Irvin then threw a fastball, but that one was high, so we're 1-2 now. One out, bases empty. Irvin tried to catch the corner with a curveball, but it looks like it dipped low for ball 2. Count evened up now at 2-2. Another ball there, a sinker from Irvin at nearly 93 that missed low. Meadroth has worked it back from 0-2 to full. Payoff pitch coming for the next White Sox batter. Full count pitch, and Meadroth smashes a ground ball through the left side. That's a base hit. Wood picks it up and left, but Meadroth is aboard with a single. White Sox have a base runner here in the second. Coming to bat now for Chicago, Tristan Peters. He'll try to keep this rally going with Meadroth on first base. Still one out here in the bottom of the second. Let's see how Irvin handles this situation. Irvin starts the lefty Peters with a curveball, 75 miles per hour, but it misses high and inside for ball 1. Meadroth takes his lead off first with one down. Peters gets a hold of that one, driving a high fly ball deep to right, but Joey Wiemer is there to track it down for the out. That's two gone. Meidroth remains at first. Now stepping in for the White Sox, the catcher, Edgar Quero. Two outs now in the bottom of the second with one runner on base. Chase Meidroth is on first following his single. Jake Irvin trying to close out this inning without any damage done. Still scoreless at right field. Quero gets a fastball in on his hands, but fouls it off to start the at-bat. That brings the count to 0-1, with two outs and Meidroth on first. Irvin has a sign and is ready to go. Quero hits a ground ball sharply to shortstop. Nasim Nunez fields it cleanly, fires to Andres Chaparro at first for the third out. That ends the inning. White Sox get a runner, but can't push one across. We're through two full innings at right field, and it's still Nationals nothing, White Sox nothing. Welcome back to Right Field. We're heading into the top of the third inning, no score yet. Leading off for the Nationals is Nasim Nunez, facing southpaw Noah Schultz. First pitch coming up. Schultz starts things off with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball right in there for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Schultz follows up the fastball with a cutter at 87.6 miles per hour, and Nunez fouls it off. That quickly, Schultz gets ahead in the count with 2 strikes, no balls. Schultz tries to elevate the fastball, bringing it at 94 miles per hour, but that's way up and out. Good eye by Nunez. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another fastball misses, this time wide of the zone at 94 miles per hour. Nunez is showing some good discipline, working it back to even at 2-2. Schultz tries to get Nunez to chase with a slider low and away, but he lays off. And just like that, we've got a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nunez hangs in there. He fouls off that 94-mile-per-hour fastball, so the full count battle continues. 3-2, nobody out. And Schultz fails to put him away. That fastball misses wide, and Nunez takes his place on first base for a walk. What a great at-bats, battling back from 0-2 to draw the base on balls. Washington's got the leadoff runner on now. So runner on first, nobody out for the Nationals. That brings up the catcher, Keibert Ruiz. Noah Schultz delivers to the plate. Schultz misses with the first pitch to Ruiz, a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that stays high. Ball one, no strikes. Nunez still leads off first. And Ruiz rips a sharp line drive to center. That's going to be extra bases. Peters tracks it down in center, but Ruiz holds up at second with a double. Nunez raced around from first and gets all the way to third. So how about that? Back-to-back productivity for Washington. Runners on second and third now with nobody out. In comes James Wood with a huge opportunity to break this deadlock. The Nationals catcher, Keibert Ruiz, just doubled, putting Nunez on third and himself on second. Can Wood deliver a big hit to give Washington the lead? Schultz gets set to pitch, and here we go. Schultz starts Wood with a sweeper on the inside corner, and it's called a strike. But wait a second, James Wood is signaling for a challenge on that call. The umpire is holding up play as we get confirmation from the automated system. Pending the review, the count is 0-1. The challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the field stands, and that was a strike. So Wood begins this at-bat behind 0-1. Schultz delivers the next pitch, another sweeper, this one at 82 miles per hour, but it misses way outside. The count is now 1-1 strike. Schultz pumps in a 95-mile-per-hour sinker, but that's way off the plate and high. Wood watches it go, and now he's ahead in the count, 2-1 strike. Still nobody out, runners on second and third for the Nationals. Schultz drops in a sweeper at 82.7 miles per hour, catching the bottom half of the zone. Beautifully painted. That makes it 2 strikes on Wood. Tension is building here in the top of the third. Schultz offers a sweeper, but it's down in the dirt. Great block by the catcher, Cuero, to keep the runners right where they are. And the count is now full at 3 strikes. Pressure mounting on Schultz and the White Sox. Huge opportunity for James Wood and the Nationals. Full count, runners at second and third, 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch from Schultz. Wood freezes. He takes an 81-mile-per-hour sweeper right over the plate for a called third strike. A massive strikeout for Schultz to get the first out of the inning, keeping those runners at bay. That big strikeout for the first out shifts some pressure. Curtis Mead will dig in for the Nationals, trying to come through with runners on second and third with 1 out. Noah Schultz is looking to escape this jam without surrendering any runs. Curtis Mead steps in with the pressure squarely on him. Schultz starts him off with an 88.6-mile-per-hour cutter, and the umpire delivers the strike one call. That's quickly 0-1. Schultz brings the heat on pitch number 2, a 94-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball. Mead swings through it, completely overpowered. Just like that, Schultz has Mead down in the count with 2 strikes and no balls. The pressure's really on now with 2 runners in scoring position and just 1 out. Schultz tries to get Mead to chase with a fastball, but that's way up and out, 95 miles per hour. Good take by Mead to break the string of strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Schultz is 1 strike away from getting out of this situation, while Mead is trying to drive in those runners with a base hit. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Schultz blows a 95-mile-per-hour fastball past him. Mead swings and misses, and that's 2 strikeouts in a row for Schultz. What an escape attempt by the big lefty. 2 down now, runners still stranded at second and third. What a performance by Schultz so far. He struck out his last two batters, and now he's 1 out away from getting out of this mess. Andres Chaparro is the new batter, and with runners on second and third, any kind of base hit puts Washington in front. Schultz looks focused. Let's see what he brings here. Schultz starts Chaparro off with a beautiful 82-mile-an-hour sweeper, catching the outside edge for a called strike. 0-1 is the count. The White Sox pitcher is just 1 strikeout away from escaping this massive self-inflicted jam. And he gets him on the ground ball. It's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Chaparro hits it right at Montgomery at shortstop. Montgomery fields it cleanly, fires across to Murakami at first, and that ends the inning. Noah Schultz works his way out of a huge jam, stranding the runners on second and third. No score still, top of the third. Welcome back to Rate Field. We're heading into the bottom of the third, still scoreless between the Nationals and the White Sox. Andrew Benintendi leads things off for Chicago, looking to turn things around after a strikeout in the first. Jake Irvin is ready on the mound. First pitch coming right up. Irvin opens up this at-bat with a breaking ball, but Benintendi lays off. That's ball one, low and inside. And another curveball, this one catching the zone. Benintendi fouls it off to even the count 1-1. Benintendi jumps on that fastball and drives it deep to center. Young is tracking it, makes the catch on the run. A hard hit, but it's just a loud flyout for the first out. Now batting for the White Sox, the first baseman Munetaka Murakami. He grounded out in his first at-bat. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the third, still no score on the board. Jake Irvin looking for another quick out. Irvin starts Murakami off with a curveball, and that one just drops into the upper part of the strike zone for a called strike. Good start for Irvin, count is 0-1. Irvin dials it up to 92.5 miles per hour on the fastball, and Murakami swings and misses. He's down in the count now, 0-2, and Irvin is firmly in control of this at-bat. Irvin tries to climb the ladder with that fastball, but it stays high and outside. Good discipline there by Murakami. The count shifts to 1-2. So we go back to 0-2 here, as Irvin overpowered Murakami with that fastball for a swinging strike. The pitcher has all the leverage now. Let's see what he goes to at 2 strikes. Yes, we are at 1 ball and 2 strikes after that fastball just off the plate. Irvin's still ahead in the count, looking to put Murakami away and get that second out. Here comes the next pitch. We're seeing a masterclass from Irvin right now. He's got Murakami behind in the count 0-2 after that swinging strike on a 92.5-mile-per-hour fastball. Now he can really expand the zone and try to get him to chase. Hold on, there's a challenge. The Nationals are looking at that last pitch, and the call is overturned. It's a called strike. What a turn of events. Jake Irvin gets the strikeout looking after a successful review, and that's the second out of the inning. And up next is Miguel Vargas. He had a double in his first at-bat, one of the few hits on the board so far. 2 outs now after that dramatic strikeout, so Irvin's got some momentum. Let's see if Vargas can create something here. Irvin starts Vargas off with a sinker, but it runs up and out. Ball 1. Good take by Vargas. And that's another sinker that misses. This one well out of the zone. Vargas is ahead now 2-0. Irvin throws another sinker, and Vargas fouls this one off. That brings the count to 2-1. Irvin has relied on that sinker solely for this at-bat, and Vargas is staying alive. Another sinker missed high, and now Vargas is in a great spot at 3-1. Irvin needs a strike badly here to keep this inning going. Let's see if he sticks with that sinker or tries something else. Irvin battles back. He gets a sinker over for a called strike. We've got a full count here with 2 down. Vargas watched that one go by, and now it all comes down to the next pitch. Pressure is on for both. And Vargas calls for time. A little breather here in what's become a real battle. Full count, 2 outs, scoreless game. Both these guys want this payoff pitch. Let's see who wins the chess match after the break. All right, back from the timeout. The payoff pitch to Vargas. Irvin goes with the curveball. Vargas lifts this one, a fly ball out toward left. James Wood is tracking it, he's underneath it, and makes the grab. That ends the threat and the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Irvin in the third. We're still locked in a scoreless duel after 3 full innings. Welcome back to Rate Field. We're scoreless here in the top of the 4th. Brady House will be the batter for the Nationals. He singled his last time up. Left-hander Noah Schultz on the mound for the White Sox. First pitch coming right up. And the first pitch to House is a cutter outside, ball 1. So the count starts 1-0 here in the top of the 4th. Schultz offers a sinker at 93 miles per hour, and House catches it but fouls it back. Count evens up at 1-1. Schultz misses outside with a sweeper, and House takes it for ball 2. The count moves to 2-1 on the righty.
Schultz tries to get that cutter back over the plate, but it misses low and away. Now House is in control with a 3-1 count.
Schultz unleashes a sinker at 93, but it's ruled ball 4 low, so Brady House draws a walk. But wait, Chicago is going to challenge the call, looking for a strike. The umpires are conferring, and the call stands. So it is a walk, and House takes first base. Runners on first with nobody out for Dalen Lyle. Just to confirm, the call on the field stands after the review. Brady House walks. Now with House on first, it's Dalen Lyle's turn at the plate. No outs, runner on first for the visiting Nationals. Here comes Dalen Lyle, looking to advance Brady House. Schultz starts him off with a sinker, clocked at 94, but it runs away. Ball 1 to the lefty Lyle. 1-0 count, runner on first. Lyle fouls off the cutter at 89 miles per hour. Schultz gets back in the count, 1-1. Still no outs, runner on first. Schultz drops in a beautiful sweeper, and Lyle swings and misses for strike 2. Good pitch there to get ahead in the count. 1-2, still no outs. Time is called by the batter, Dalen Lyle, stepping out of the box to reset. Crucial point of this at-bat, 1-2 count with a runner on first and nobody out. Schultz delivers an 82-mile-per-hour sweeper that balls inside, leveling the count at 2-2. But the break on that pitch was too much. It gets away. That's going to be a wild pitch. Brady House scampers down to second, so now the Nationals have a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and it's 2-2 on Lyle. Schultz delivers, and it's wild. Brady House advances to second base, so now the Nationals have a runner in scoring position with nobody out in a scoreless game. The count on Lyle stands at 2-2. Schultz tries the sweeper again low, and that fills up the count. 3-2 on Dalen Lyle. Runner on second, nobody out. Big pitch coming next. Schultz misses with the sinker low, and that's another walk. Dalen Lyle draws a free pass. So back-to-back walks issued by Schultz, and now the Nationals have something cooking here in the top of the fourth. Runners on first and second with nobody out, and Jacob Young is striding to the plate. All right, so the stage is set for a potential Nationals breakthrough. House on second, Lyle on first, and crucially, nobody out. Jacob Young will settle in, right-handed batter against lefty Schultz, who's just walked consecutive batters. Let's see if Schultz can regain his command, or if the Nationals can capitalize on this opportunity in a scoreless game. Schultz starts off with a 90-mile-per-hour cutter, and Young swings and misses for strike 1. House and Lyle are still at second and first respectively with nobody out. Schultz paints the corner with another cutter at 88. Young takes it, and that's strike two. Schultz is in command here, now with an 0-2 count on the batter.
And the umpire grants time again. Jacob Young stepping out of the box, trying to break the pitcher's rhythm. Schultz has got him in an 0-2 count. Huge spot for both guys here. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Let's see what Schultz goes to.
Schultz brings the heat, a 94-mile-per-hour four-seamer, and Jacob Young swings and misses. That's a huge first out for Schultz, striking him out swinging. The runners have to hold, so it's still 1-on-2 for Joey Wiemer, but with one out now. Joey Wiemer stepping in now with 2 on and 1 out. He's batting .340 on the year. Schultz just got a big strikeout, looking to keep that momentum going here. Wiemer handles the first pitch and hits a soft grounder back to the plate. Catcher Cuero scoops it up quickly and fires to first for the second out. A productive out, though, as House advances to third and Lau moves up to second. 2 outs now with runners at second and third for Nasim Nunez. Two outs, runners at second and third for Nasim Nunez. Big moment here in the top of the fourth. Noah Schultz trying to wiggle out of this jam and keep the game scoreless, while Nunez is looking to put Washington on the board with a base hit. Schultz opens with a cutter at 89, but it misses off the plate. 1-0 count to Nunez. Schultz trying to escape this jam with 2 on, 2 out. Nunez lines a ground ball up the middle. Center fielder Peters gets on it, but House scores from third. Lyle is right behind him, and he comes around to score as well. It's a 2-run single for Nunez, and the Nationals have broken the tie and take a 2-0 lead in the fourth. So a 2-out rally gives the Nats the lead. Now with Nunez on first, Keibert Ruiz is the batter. He doubled back in the second. Schultz needs to bear down here and get that third out. Ruiz swings at the first pitch, a 94-mile-per-hour fastball, and hits a ground ball to shortstop Colson Montgomery. Montgomery makes the play and fires to Munetaka Murakami at first to end the inning. The Nationals score 2 runs on Nunez's single and now lead 2-0 heading into the bottom of the fourth. Welcome back to Rate Field. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Washington Nationals are holding a 2-0 lead over the hometown Chicago White Sox. Leading off for Chicago is Colson Montgomery, who is actually hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. He'll be facing Jake Irvin, who's done a nice job on the mound for the Nats so far. Irvin against Montgomery, and we're ready to start the bottom of the fourth. And the first pitch from Irvin is a curveball that drops in there for a called strike. 75 miles per hour on that one, and the count is 0-1 to Montgomery. Irvin evens the count now at 1-1. That changeup missed down and away. 82 miles per hour on that pitch. Montgomery fouls that one off, a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Now the count stands at 1-2. Irvin ahead in the count, looking to punch out Montgomery here.
And time is called at the plate. Montgomery stepping out to collect himself or maybe talk to the home plate umpire. Still 1-2 the count, bottom of the fourth. We're back in action after the timeout, and Irvin unleashes a 92-mile-per-hour fastball that misses low and outside. That evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we've got a full count. Irvin tried to get Montgomery to chase with a curveball, but it dropped away, and now the count is 3-2. Payoff pitch coming up. Fouled away. Montgomery stays alive, spoiling a 94-mile-per-hour fastball to keep the duel going. Still 3-2 the count. Another foul. Montgomery just won't go away. Irvin tried with a 77-mile-per-hour curveball, but Montgomery gets a piece of it to fight another day. The count remains 3-2. Finally, on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, Irvin gets Montgomery to hit a sharp ground ball to first base. Chaparro collects it and feeds the pitcher, Irvin covering first for the automatic out. That's 1 away in the bottom of the fourth. Now up for the White Sox is Everson Pereira. He popped out earlier in the game. Irvin working with 1 out now and the bases are empty. Irvin starts out Pereira with a sinker, clocked at 92 miles per hour, that just misses outside up high. 1-0 the count. Irvin falls behind Pereira after missing high and inside with a 78-mile-per-hour curveball. That's 2 straight out of the zone to start this at-bat, and the count is now 2-0. Pereira gets a piece of that one and fouls it off, a 92-mile-per-hour sinker, and that brings the count to 2-1. Irvin trying to battle back after falling behind. Another foul. Pereira hangs in there, getting a piece of fundamentally the same pitch, a 91-mile-per-hour sinker, so the count runs even at 2-2. Irvin trying to finish him off here. Ball 3. Irvin tries to paint the outside corner with a 93-mile-per-hour sinker, but it misses. Full count now to Pereira, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Hold on now. Looks like the Nationals are going to challenge that call. Managers on both sides are looking at the umpire. Play is paused. The challenge is on. We're awaiting the official ruling on that pitch. It's a key moment as it could mean ball 4 or strike 3, which could really shift the momentum of this inning. The crowd is holding its breath right now as the umps take a look. The tension is mounting at right field while the decision hangs in the balance. If the call stands, it's walk number 4 for Irvin, but if it's overturned, that's strike 3 and a huge out. Everyone's locked in on those monitors. The call is still under review, folks, and the Rate Field faithful are getting a bit restless. Everyone's locked in on those big screens trying to get a final look. An overturn could be a game changer for this inning. And the challenge is successful. The call on the field is overturned and Everson Pereira is called out on strikes. Irvin gets the punch out looking, and that's the second out of the inning. So, with 2 down and the bases empty, it's Sam Antonacci stepping in for the White Sox. Antonacci flew out in his first trip to the plate. Irvin looking to set him down in order here in the fourth. Score remains 2-0 Nationals. Two downs now, bases empty. Left fielder Sam Antonacci digs in. Irvin delivers. And that's a looping curveball. Misses wide for ball 1. 74.5 miles per hour on that breaker. 1-0 the count. Irvin fires back, evening the count with a cutter at 85 miles per hour. That one paints the inner edge for a called strike. It's now 1-1 to Antonacci, with 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth. Antonacci swings through a fastball. Irvin pumped it in there at 93 miles per hour, and now he's got the batter in a hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth, 2 outs. Irvin is looking to retire the side. Antonacci in a 1-2 hole. Here's the delivery. 93-mile-per-hour fastball, and Antonacci lines it. That's a base hit into right field. Joey Wiemer gets to it, but Sam Antonacci extends the inning with a sharp single. The White Sox get a 2-out base runner. Now stepping up to the plate is Chase Meidroth, looking to keep this 2-out rally going. He has a base runner on first after Antonacci's single. Meidroth already has a hit tonight, a single earlier on. Jake Irvin is still on the mound, trying to close out this fourth inning and escape unscathed. Before the pitch, Irvin fires back to first, trying to catch Antonacci napping with that pickoff attempt, but he's back in safely. Meidroth still waiting to get started here in the count. 2 outs, runner on first. Another throw to first. Irvin is keeping really close tabs on Antonacci over there. That's 2 disengagements this at-bat. No pitch yet to Meidroth. Situation, 2 outs, runner on first. Finally, we get a pitch and Irvin starts Meidroth with a called strike. That was a 90-mile-per-hour sinker that caught the edge. So the count is now 0-1 with 2 outs and Antonacci still over at first base. Nationals lead this one 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that will do it for the White Sox here in the fourth. Chase Meidroth heads down to first, but he flies right out to Joey Wiemer in right field. Jake Irvin keeps things tight, and the Nationals still hold on to their 2-0 lead. Hello from Rate Field. We're heading into the top of the fifth with the Nationals leading the White Sox by a score of 2-0. James Wood is leading off this inning against Noah Schultz. Wood is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout.
Schultz starts him off with a changeup, but it's too high, ball one. Speed on that one was 92 miles per hour. Schultz comes back with a sweeper for a called strike, painted the zone perfectly with that one. The count is now 1-1. Wood makes good contact on that one and drives it deep to left, but left fielder Sam Antonacci makes a nice grab in foul territory for the first out. Curtis Mead is now coming to the plate, looking to break through with his first hit of the day. One out now in the top of the fifth for Curtis Mead. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, so he's really looking to turn things around against Schultz today. Empty bases in a 2-0 score for the Nationals. And here comes the first pitch from Schultz, a 93-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball. Mead gets under it, pop fly to right. Pereira camps under it, makes the grab. 2 down. Two quick outs for Schultz in the top of the fifth. Next to step up is Andres Chaparro. He's 0 for 2 on the day, so he's looking for something to drop in. Bases are clear. Chaparro grounds out to second baseman Chase Meidroth, who throws to Munetaka Murakami at first for the third out. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Schultz. Mid-fifth, and the score is still 2-0 Nationals. Welcome back to Right Field, folks, where it's sunny and a little chilly at 49 degrees. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth, and the Washington Nationals hold a 2-0 lead over the hometown White Sox. Leading off for Chicago is Tristan Peters, looking to get something going versus Jake Irvin. Irvin's been pretty sharp so far. Let's see how this at-bat unfolds. And Irvin starts Peters off with a sinker, right in there for a called strike at 90.9 miles an hour. Nothing doing on that one, count 1-1. Peters chases the curveball for strike 2. Irvin really pulling the string on that one. 75.9 miles per hour. Now in an 0-2 hole. Time called by the batter, Tristan Peters. He wants a moment to collect himself. Down 0-2 here. Trying to disrupt Irvin's rhythm, perhaps. Irvin comes back with another curveball, this time at 76.2 miles an hour, and Peters stays alive by fouling it off. He's battling up there, but the count holds firm at no balls and 2 strikes. Another foul. Peters fights off a 93.7-mile-per-hour fastball, keeping the at-bat alive. He's making Irvin work here. Count still stuck at 0-2.
Got him! Irvin goes back to the curveball, and Peter swings and misses on a 77.7-mile-per-hour offering. That's the first out of the bottom of the fifth. And that brings up Edgar Quero, the catcher. He's one of White Sox prospects hoping to make an impact, but he's struggling a bit with the average so far. Let's see if he can break through. One out, nobody on. There's a hit. Quero rips a ground ball through the left side for a single. Left fielder James Wood gets to it, but Quero's on first with the one-out single. He jumped right on that first pitch, a sinker. Chicago trying to build something here, down 2-0. And now Andrew Benintendi comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today, so he's looking to get on the board. He's got a runner on first that could cut into that 2-0 deficit. One out, bottom of the fifth. Irvin starts Benintendi with a curveball, and it's a swinging strike. That one was clocked at 77.2 miles per hour. He's on the defensive now with the count at 0-1. Another curveball, and Benintendi swings and misses. Quero catches it on the block. Irvin's got him in an 0-2 hole now. Irvin tries another curveball, but this time it's outside and Benintendi holds back. Ball one. The count moves to 1-2 with one out and a runner on first base. Got him swinging. Irvin fans Benintendi with another curveball, this one at 77.5 miles an hour. That's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Irvin, and suddenly they're 2 down here in the fifth. Edgar Quero holds firm at first, but the White Sox's deficit remains at 2-0. So up next is Munetaka Murakami. He's got a chance to bring Chicago right back into this one with 2 outs and a man on. Irvin has been tough on him so far today. The White Sox need a big swing from their power hitter. And Irvin attacks Murakami with a sinker, 91.6 miles per hour, and he blows it right by him. Swinging strike, count 0-1. Big moment here with 2 outs. And drops in a beautiful curveball for a called strike, 78.3 miles an hour on that hook. Murakami is now in an 0-2 hole, and the White Sox are just 1 strike away from ending the inning. Quero leads off first. And time is called again, this time by Murakami. The hitter's stepping out of the box, trying to break the pitcher's Irvin's momentum. Still an 0-2 count for Murakami with 2 outs. Irvin misses with the curveball, low and outside. Ball 1. The count moves to 1-2, 2 outs, runner at first. Oh, and a wild pitch. It gets past Ruiz, and that allows Quero to scamper all the way to second. So now the White Sox have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Count still 1-2 as Murakami steps back in. Strike three! Irvin gets Murakami swinging with another curveball. That leaves Cuero on second and ends the threat for the Chicago White Sox. We're through 5 innings here at Wright Field, and it's the Washington Nationals 2, Chicago White Sox 0. We're in the top of the 6th from Wright Field, Nationals leading 2-0. Noah Schultz on the mound for the White Sox, and he'll be facing Brady House, who has reached both times today with a single and a walk. Schultz starts House off with an 86-mile-per-hour cutter, but it's too far outside. Ball 1. The count is 1-0. House takes a healthy cut at a 90.8-mile-per-hour changeup but can't connect. Schultz even the count. It's 1-1. Schultz with an 80-mile-an-hour sweeper, and House fouls it back. Now the pitcher has the batter in a hole. Count is 1-2. Schultz tries another changeup, but this one dives low, and House lays off. That makes it 2-2. Schultz ramps it up to 92.1 miles per hour with that cutter, and House gets a piece, fouling it off again. Count holds at 2-2. Schultz goes the sweeper at 80.9 miles per hour, but it misses just outside. We've got a full count now, 3-2. And there's ball 4. Schultz couldn't get House to chase on the full count slider, so he walks him. That's the 3rd time today that House has reached base. Runner on first with no outs. Dalen Lyle will step in now, trying to move that runner along. House is on first with no outs. Schultz starts Dalen Lyle off with an 88-mile-per-hour cutter, and Lyle swings through it. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Oh, and he lines one right at Murakami at first. He catches it and steps on the bag. An unassisted double play. House was caught off first and couldn't get back. Just like that, there are 2 outs. Two quick outs now for the White Sox after a promising start to the inning for Washington. Jacob Young will dig in, trying to spark something with 2 away. He's struck out in both of his plate appearances so far.
Young connects, soft grounder back to the box. It strikes Schultz off his glove and deflects over to Vargas at third. He fields it cleanly, but Young busts it down the line, and he'll have himself an infield single, keeping the inning alive with 2 outs. Joey Wiemer is now at the plate with a runner on first and 2 outs. Washington leading 2-0. Wiemer's looking for his first hit of the game, having struck out and grounded out earlier. Schultz throws over to first, but Young gets back safely, keeping an eye on that runner on first after the infield single. Schultz tried to catch Young off first again, but no dice. He then delivers a fastball at 94.3 miles per hour, but it's too low. The count is 1-0. Schultz paints the outside corner with an 88.5 mile per hour cutter. Wiemer takes it for a called strike, so that evens up the count at 1-1. Schultz pumps in another called strike, this time a fastball at 94.2 miles per hour. Wiemer is now in a 1-2 count. Schultz 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. And time is called. Joey Wiemer steps out of the box attached to a tough situation, trying to stay alive with 2 strikes. We're back from the timeout. Schultz fires a fastball, 96 miles per hour, but it's way up and away. Wiemer lays off, and the count is now even, 2-2. Big pitch coming up here with 2 outs and a runner at first. Here's the pitch. Wiemer swings and misses. Dropped by the catcher Cuero, but he fires down to Murakami at first base in time. That's a strikeout and the 3rd out. Schultz gets the job done with an 82.9 mile per hour sweeper to retire the side. After 6 innings, Nationals lead 2-0. Hello, baseball fans. Welcome back to Rate Field. We're heading into the bottom of the 6th, and it's the Washington Nationals leading the Chicago White Sox 2-0. Leading off for the Sox in the bottom half will be Miguel Vargas. Vargas is 1 for 2 on the day with a double. He'll be facing off against Jake Irvin, who's been holding the Sox in check so far. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Irvin delivers, and Vargas cuts and misses for strike 1. That sinker had plenty of movement on the inside corner. Count starts 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and Irvin tries to get Vargas to chase with a curveball low and away, but he holds back. Ball 1, so the count's evens at 1-1. Irvin brings the heat again, another sinker, but Vargas fouls it back. He's behind in the count, 1-2.
He struck him out. Vargas swings and misses at a fastball, but the ball gets past the catcher, Ruiz. It's a pass ball, and Vargas is heading for first. Ruiz scrambles, picks it up, fires to first, and it's overthrown. A throwing error by Keibert Ruiz. Vargas advances to second, and the Sox have a runner in scoring position after what would have been the first out. White Sox with a big chance here after that wild play. Runner on second, nobody out, and that brings up the left-handed batter Colson Montgomery. Montgomery reached via hit by pitch and grounded out earlier. Jake Irvin trying to strand this runner and get back on track. First pitch from Irvin, and he pulls the string. A nasty curveball low and away, and Montgomery chases it for a swinging strike. Great pitch to open the at-bat. Count is 0-1. Another curveball from Irvin, and Montgomery fouls it off. That puts him in a big hole. Count moves to 0-2. Irvin is just one strike away from getting out number one and potentially escaping this mess. Time called. Montgomery steps out of the box to regroup for a moment before we get back to the 1-2 count. Caught him looking at a beautiful curveball. Irvin freezes Montgomery with a pitch right in the strike zone. That's one down in the sixth, and the Sox still have a runner in second. So with one out and Vargas still on second, here comes Everson Perea. Perea looking to break through after popping out and striking out earlier in the game. Irvin trying to buckle down and get this second out. Irvin starts Perea off with a curveball, clocked at 75.9 miles per hour, and Perea swings right through it. A great-looking hook there from Irvin. Count is 0-1. Irvin goes back to the curveball, and Perea swings and misses again. Irvin has him right where he wants him. Count is 0-2. Perea needs to protect the plate here to keep the inning alive. And Perea takes a timeout, stepping out of the box to clear his head. He's down 0-2 and needs to regroup here. He got him! Back-to-back strikeouts for Irvin. Perea tips the curveball right into the glove of Keibert Ruiz. That's two away now in the inning, and Miguel Vargas is still parked on second base. Irvin is just one strike away from getting out of this jam. Two outs now in the bottom of the sixth, and the Chicago White Sox are still down by 2. Miguel Vargas is on second, representing a potential run. Sam Antonacci steps to the plate, and he's been putting the bat on the ball today, having a single in his last at-bat. Pitcher Jake Irvin is looking to strand that runner and end this White Sox threat. And time is called as catcher Keibert Ruiz heads out to the mound to chat with Jake Irvin. Looks like a strategy session with 2 outs, runner on second, and the left-handed hitting Antonacci coming up. Just trying to get on the same page before this crucial at-bat. We have a pitching change here at right field. To the bullpen go the Nationals as Mitchell Parker, the left-hander, is entering the game, replacing Jake Irvin. It's the lefty-lefty matchup the manager wants against Sam Antonacci, looking to shut down this potential White Sox rally and close out the inning. Parker takes over with 2 outs and a runner on second. And the White Sox are countering with a strategic move of their own. Tanner Murray, batting from the right side, is pinch hitting for Sam Antonacci. So we're going to see a righty versus lefty matchup now. 2 outs, still that runner on second, and the Nationals lead 2-0 as Murray digs in. Perea delivers the first pitch. Swinging strike. He got him with an 83-mile-per-hour slider. Murray swings heavily, behind in the count 0-1. 2 outs, Vargas still on second. Perea tries to go back to the slider, but this one's in the dirt. Good job by Murray to lay off. Ball 1, and that brings the count to 1-1. Sox still have a chance to get back in this game. Got him swinging on a slider. Parker paints the outside corner and Murray can't connect. That puts him behind in the count 1-2. Nationals on the brink of escaping this inning and keeping their 2-0 lead. Time called again. Tanner Murray takes a moment to collect himself outside the batter's box. We're ready to resume with a 1-2 count, 2 outs and that runner on second. Mitchell Parker would love to put this Sox rally to bed right here, while Murray looks to keep the inning alive and potentially drive in a run. Perea delivers and that slider misses wide. Good eye by Murray to hold up. So the count evens now at 2-2. Still 2 outs, and Miguel Vargas is leading off second. This is a battle here. Murray pinch hitting for Antonacci, trying to extend this 6th inning. We've seen all sliders in this at-bat. What's Parker got next? The 2-2 offering coming up. Full count, payoff pitch. And he struck him out. Parker goes back to the slider, and Murray swings over the top of it. That ends the threat. The White Sox strand a runner on second, and Mitchell Parker shuts the door on the 6th. Through 6 innings, it's Nationals 2, White Sox 0. Welcome back to right field as we get set for the top of the 7th inning. The Washington Nationals leading 2-0 over the White Sox. We have a defensive switch to report. Tanner Murray remains in the game, but he'll be taking over out in left field. And leading off for the Nationals to start the inning is shortstop Nasim Nunez, who's already reached twice today. He's going up against the righty Jordan Hicks. Top of the 7th inning here at right field, and the White Sox are making a move. Jordan Hicks comes in from the bullpen to replace Noah Schultz. He'll be facing Nasim Nunez as the Nationals look to add to their 2-0 lead. Hicks fires in a heater. That's a sinker at 96.6 miles per hour for a called strike. Nunez watches that one go by, and the count is now 0-1. Another sinker from Hicks, this one at 96.7. Nunez manages to get a piece and fouls it off. That puts him in an 0-2 hole quickly.
got him! Hicks freezes Nunez with a splitter at 86 miles per hour for called strike 3. What a start for Hicks. One away here in the top of the 7th. That brings up the catcher, Keibert Ruiz. He doubled earlier in the game. 1 out and nobody on against Hicks, who's looking to keep that line moving with his electric stuff. Here comes the first pitch. Ooh, Hicks is bringing the heat. That's another sinker. This one clocked at 98.2 miles per hour, but Ruiz gets a piece and fouls it back. The count is 0-1. Hicks tries to get Ruiz to chase with another sinker, but it's too far outside, 98 miles per hour that time. That evens the count at 1-1. Ruiz steps out and asks for time. A brief pause in the action, perhaps trying to disrupt Hicks' rhythm a bit. The count holds at 1-1, 1 out for the Nationals in the top of the 7th. Hicks switches it up and throws a sweeper, but that one misses way high. So after firing fastballs, he tries to get Ruiz to bite on some breaking movement. Now the count is 2-1. Hicks dials it back up to 97, and Ruiz smashes it right back to him. Hicks swallows it up, tosses to Murakami at first, and that's the second out of the inning. Swift work there for Hicks. Two outs, base is empty now for Washington in the top of the 7th. Leadoff man James Wood is the next hitter, and he's looking to get going today, currently 0 for 3. Jordan Hicks, meanwhile, is humming, having set down the first 2 batters he faced to start the inning. Here's the windup and the pitch. Up next is the leadoff man, James Wood. He's looking to break an 0 for 3 slump today. Hicks doesn't hold back, pumping in a 97.7 mile per hour sinker right in there. Called strike 1 on the upper part of the plate. Hicks is overpowering, and the count is 0-1. Hicks breaks off a splitter at 87 miles per hour, but it just dives down low and away. Wood takes it for 1. That evens the count to 1-1. Still 2 outs for the Nationals in context. Wow, Hicks is really letting it rip. Another sinker at 98.1, but it misses way inside. That makes it 2-1 on Wood. Hicks is trying to end this inning with some velocity. Hicks misses again with the sinker, this one at 97.8, and suddenly the count is 3-1 on Wood. After coming in dealing, Hicks is behind in this count. Wood is looking for something to drive. And Wood draws the walk. Hicks just couldn't get that final strike, missing with a fastball down low. So the Nationals extend the inning with 2 outs. Runner on first for Curtis Mead. All right, runner at first now for Curtis Mead with 2 away. Hicks seemed ready to get out of this inning quickly, but a walk to Wood keeps it alive for the Nationals. Mead is looking to break through. He's had a tough day, 0 for 3 so far. Let's see if Hicks can regain control of that overpowering sinker. First pitch coming up.
Hicks opens Meade with a blistering sinker, but it's way off the plate, 97.9 miles per hour. Ball 1. Runner on first represents the third hit of the inning, with 2 outs still in context. Hicks tries to drop in a sweeper at 86, but it's up and away again. He's fallen behind 2-0 on Meade. Hicks trying to shake off that walk to Wood and get the final out of the inning here. And that's ball 2 on a sweeper, and it gets away from the catcher. Wood takes off and slides into second safely. So that's a wild pitch by Hicks, moving a runner into scoring position with 2 outs. The count stands at 2-0. There's ball 3. Hicks buries a sinker in the dirt at 97 miles per hour. That forces the count to 3-0 on Curtis Meade. Hicks is really struggling with his command since getting the first 2 outs, and now he faces putting another man on. Wood leads off second. Hicks gets one back. That's a 97.2 mile per hour sinker catching the zone for a called strike. The count moves to 3-1 with Wood on second. Big pitch coming up here. And he's walked him. Hicks thought he had the corner, but the sinker at 97.6 is called a ball. That's 2 walks allowed by Jordan Hicks in the inning after getting the first 2 men out. Runners now on first and second for the Nationals with 2 away, and Andres Chaparro is the next hitter. And now we're going to have a mound visit. White Sox pitching coach coming out to talk to Hicks. After looking dominant early on with that blistering fastball, he's lost his command completely, walking back-to-back hitters and throwing a wild pitch. They need him to find the strike zone here to preserve this deficit, with Chaparro coming to the plate and runners at first and second. And there's a strategic move here from the Nationals. Luis Garcia Jr. is coming off the bench to pinch hit, replacing Andres Chaparro. So a left-handed bat will face off against the hard-throwing righty Hicks. Huge situation here with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th. Let's see how Hicks responds after that mound visit. Hicks greets Garcia with a 98.3 mile per hour sinker, but it's way up high, ball 1. Hicks still fighting to find that release point after walking the last 2 hitters. Wood at second, Meade at first with 2 down and a 2-0 game. Hicks steps off, trying to reset here with a 1-0 count in Garcia. He's had a wild last few batters, and with speedy runners on base and 2 outs, he just wants to bring it all back together on the mound. Top of the 7th, 2 outs, empty bases, Luis Garcia Jr. coming in to pinch hit. Hicks on the mound with a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch, and it's grounded right to the shortstop, Montgomery. He stays with it, fires to Murakami at first for the 3rd out. Routine play to end the frame. After 7, it's still Nationals 2, White Sox 0. Before we get started in the bottom of the 7th, the Nationals are making a change defensively. Luis Garcia Jr. moves over to play first base. So the White Sox will send out Chase Meidroth, facing the left-hander Parker, as they trail 2-0. Meidroth digging in, but he holds up and takes a timeout before the first pitch. Just hitting the reset button before getting started here in the bottom of the 7th. Still 2-0 Nationals. And here's the first pitch from Mitchell Parker. Mydroth watches a slider go low, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Parker delivers, and that's a fastball just off the plate for ball 2. Mydroth in a good count here, 2-0. Parker misses again, that one inside with the fastball. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes to Mydroth. He's in the driver's seat here, White Sox trailing by 2. And that's a 4-pitch walk. Parker couldn't find the strike zone, and Mydroth takes his place at first base. A leadoff runner for the White Sox, that brings up the tying run. Still nobody out. Now we've got a pinch hitter coming on for Tristan Peters. It's Derek Hill. So, the White Sox trying to get something going here. Down 2-0 in the 7th, with a runner on first and nobody out. Hill sets and drops down a bunt. A lovely soft bunt down to first. Garcia Jr. charges and picks it up, but Hill is flying down the line. He will beat it for a single. Mydroth advances to second, and just like that, the White Sox have something brewing with runners on first and second and nobody out. And now coming to the plate is Edgar Quero. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a single. This feels like a really big moment. Tying runs on base and nobody out. Parker steps off the rubber, just trying to slow things down a bit here. Those runners on base are causing some distraction. Quero with a ground ball down the first baseline. Garcia Jr. fields it and fires quickly across the diamond to third. They force out Mydroth. Hill advances to second, and Quero is safe at first. So a big force out there for the Nationals to get the first down of the inning. White Sox still have runners on first and second, but now with 1 out. And another substitution for the White Sox, bringing in Luis Angel Acuna to pinch run for Quero at first. They're looking for some speed on the bases to squeeze out a run. So it's 1 out, runners on first and second for Andrew Benintendi. White Sox trying to chip away at that 2-0 deficit. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out, 2 on for the White Sox. Benintendi at the plate looking to break through against the lefty Parker. Parker starts him off with a crisp slider at 83 miles per hour, and Benintendi swings right through it. Good break on that pitch, and it's an 0-1 count. The White Sox with a big opportunity here with 2 on and 1 away, trailing by a pair. Parker offers another slider, and Benintendi swings right through it. That one was low in the dirt, but he couldn't hold up. Now he's in a hole, 0-2. Parker's got him right where he wants him. He struck him out. Parker throws another slider, and Benintendi chases low, swinging through it for the 3rd strike. That's the 2nd out of the inning, and a huge whiff for Parker on the mound. The White Sox had something going, but now they're down to their final route of the frame, still trailing 2-0, but runners on first and second.
Up next is Munetaka Murakami, the big left-handed power thread. He's had a tough night, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. The White Sox would love for him to break through here. 2 outs, runners on first and second, trailing 2-0. Crucial at bat for Chicago. Parker ready. First pitch to Murakami. A beautifully located slider catches the corner for a called strike. Right on the inside edge. Count starts at 0-1. Pressure's on Murakami to deliver in this big spot. Parker delivers another slider, and it paints the corner again. They've called that one a strike. Replay shows it was challenged and overturned. So that's strike 2, and Murakami is in a deep hole. 0-2, with 2 outs and runners on base. The Nationals are 1 strike away from escaping the danger. He struck him out. Parker finishes him off with another slider, and Murakami swings right through it for the 3rd strike. That retires the side and strands 2 runners. A huge inning for Mitchell Parker, escaping trouble without allowing a run. We head to the 8th at Rate Field. Still 2-0 Nationals. We're heading to the top of the 8th inning at Rate Field, and the Nationals lead the White Sox by 2 runs. Right-hander Tyler Davis is on the mound for Chicago, trying to keep this score close. He'll face Brady House, who's 2 for 2 with a walk so far. Defensively, Derek Hill is staying in at center field. All right, folks, we're moving to the top of the 8th here at Rate Field, and the Washington Nationals lead the White Sox 2-0. As Brady House steps in, we see a couple of changes for Chicago defensively. Drew Romo takes over behind the plate, replacing Luis Angel Acuna, and Derek Hill remains in the game in center field. Tyler Davis is on the mound for the White Sox.
All right, folks, we're starting the top of the 8th,
and we've got a few changes on defense for the White Sox. Tyler Davis is taken over on the mound, and there's also a switch behind the plate, with Drew Romo coming in to catch. Derek Hill is staying in as center fielder as they try to shut down this Washington lineup, currently trailing 2-0. Brady House is leading off the top of the 8th. All right, here we go. Tyler Davis finishes his warm-up pitches. The first pitch of the inning, a blazing 97-mile-per-hour fastball. Brady House takes a healthy cut and misses. Strike 1. Drivers brings the heat again. A 97-mile-per-hour fastball catches the middle of the zone. House now finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Davis with a dominant first batter. He blows pitch number 3 by him swinging 97.4 miles per hour fastball to get the strikeout. That's the first out of the inning. Now coming up for Washington is Dalen Lyle, the designated hitter. Lyle represents the left-handed power here against Davis. Bases are empty with 1 out. And first pitch to Lyle, he attacks an 88-mile-per-hour slider but pops it up high in the air. Colson Montgomery calls for it at shortstop, drifts under, and squeezes it for the second out.
A quick 2 away here in the 8th. Two quick outs for Davis, and now coming up for Washington is Jacob Young. Base is empty with 2 down in the top of the 8th. Davis misses low with that fastball. It's ball 1. Still showing that velocity, hitting 98 miles per hour there. Counts 1-0 on Young. That one's in there for a called strike. Another high heat pitch, 97.5 miles per hour. Jacob Young watches it even up. Count is 1-1. Davis tries to get Young to chase with a slider, but it misses outside. Ball 2. So the count sits at 2-1 now as Davis looks to wrap up this half inning. Davis misses again with a fastball, this time low. Count is now 3-1. Davis tried to avoid walking the batter here and bringing on the next one. And Davis misses high with the fastball. That's ball 4. Young draws the walk, so the Nationals have a 2-out base runner. Up next is Joey Wiemer. With 2 outs and Young on first, up next is Joey Wiemer. Wiemer's looking to extend this inning, while Davis wants this final out to keep things close. Davis opens up against Wiemer with a slider for a called strike, 86 miles per hour. Young represents the runner on first with 2 outs. Count is 0-1. And that's another strike called, pushed up there at 96 miles per hour. Wiemer is quickly down 0-2 in the count. Davis is just 1 strike away from escaping this 8th inning. He's been aggressive against these Washington hitters. Hold on a second. Wiemer steps out and calls for time. He's trying to regroup here, down 0-2, disrupt the rhythm of Tyler Davis, who's just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Time is back in. Davis fires a high fastball, 96 miles per hour, but it's called a ball. That makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis still looking for that decisive pitch to escape the inning, while Wiemer aims to keep fighting. Another ball, this one in the dirt, blocked cleanly. It was a slider that got away from Davis, so the count even at 2-2. Davis started with 2 quick strikes, but Wiemer has battled back to even things up. Jacob Young stays put at first. Huge pitch coming up here with 2 away. The 2-2 painted fastball cuts the corner. Wiemer can't believe it, but that's a called 3rd strike. Tyler Davis strikes out the side around the walk, stranding the runner, and we head to the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-0 Nationals. Welcome back to Rate Field. We're heading to the bottom of the eighth, and it's the visiting Washington Nationals leading the Chicago White Sox 2-0. Leading off for the Sox is Miguel Vargas, looking to get something going. He's 1 for 3 with a double today. He'll be facing the left-hander Mitchell Parker. First pitch, coming right up. Parker starts Vargas off with a breaking ball on the outside corner. Looks like a slider for strike one. Parker's getting ahead early. Count 0-1. Vargas stepping out of the box, taking a moment to reset, trying to disrupt the pitcher's rhythm maybe. Count still 0-1. Parker misses with that one, another slider outside. Vargas didn't bite. Even count now with 1 ball, 1 strike. No one out, bottom of the eighth. Parker misses again. That's 2 straight sliders that were non-competitive. He started with a strike, but now Vargas is in control. A hitter's count, 2-1. Big pitch coming up here. Parker tries to come back with a fastball, but it misses high. He's lost his command entirely here. And suddenly Vargas is in business with a 3-1 count. Leadoff walk in the eighth. That is not what Parker wants. Huge pitch coming up. Does he go back to the breaking ball or risk another fastball? And he captures the base on balls. Parker just couldn't find the strike zone, missing high with another fastball. That's a leadoff walk for Vargas, and now the White Sox have something cooking here in the bottom of the eighth. Still 2-0 Nationals. Oh dear, back-to-back free passes, and this one directly hits Montgomery. The control issues are amplifying for Mitchell Parker in the eighth. He throws a slider that gets away, drilling Montgomery. Vargas moves up to second, and suddenly the tying run is on base with nobody out. The pressure is really mounting now. Now it's Everson Pereira coming to the plate. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Parker's in a self-inflicted jam here. 2 on, nobody out via walk and a hit batsman. White Sox fans are making some noise, sensing a chance to get back in this game. Parker needs a strike right now. And here comes the pitching coach out to the mound. A much-needed visit here for Mitchell Parker, who's lost his way in this inning after walking Vargas and nailing Montgomery. They need to calm him down, settle him to stop this bleeding and get back into the strike zone. Pereira's waiting on deck, and the tying run is already on base. Critical moment here. And that's it for Mitchell Parker. The manager's out to get him, and he'll be replaced by Gus Varland. Varland's inheriting a big spot here. 2 on, no outs in the bottom of the eighth, trying to preserve this 2-0 lead. He'll be facing Everson Pereira, and this game might hinge on this fresh arm. There's a ground ball into left field, single. Vargas rounds third, he's heading home and scores. Montgomery moves up to second, and the White Sox are on the board. It's a 1-run ball game and still nobody out, and the rally continues. So a new ball game practically, as the White Sox have cut into the lead. Runners are still on first and second with nobody out, and Tanner Murray at the plate. Murray's 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far. Momentum is definitely on the side of Chicago here, and this crowd is energized. Varland needs to settle in and get an out right away.
Tanner Murray lays down a bunt. Nice execution. Pitcher Varland gets it, throws to Meade at first, and that's the first out. But it does the job. Montgomery advances to third, Pereira to second. So now with one away, the Chicago White Sox have the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second. Talk about an opportunity. Chase Meidroth is stepping up with a chance to tie this game up, or maybe even put the Sox ahead. He's 1 for 2 with a single today. Varland on the hill, trying to slam the door. The fielders are playing close, expecting anything. 1 out, runners on second and third. Here we go. Vargas gets ahead in the count with a fastball at 92. Called strike on the inside corner. Meidroth watches it go by. So the count is 0-1. This is a crucial at-bat for Meidroth with a tying run just 90 feet away. Deep fly ball hit to center field by Meidroth. Jacob Young is back. He makes the catch. Here comes Montgomery tagging from third. The throw is not in time. We are tied. A sacrifice fly for Chase Meidroth, and it's 2-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs now. Vargas brings the slider and Derek Hill fouls it off. Count is 0-1. Still 2 outs, runner on second. White Sox are not done yet. Another slider from Varland lands right in there for a called strike. Hill took a look at that one. Now he's in a hole, 0 for 2. Huge pitch coming up for both guys. Varland wants the strikeout. Hill needs to stay alive and advance that runner. Vargas tries the slider again, and Hill gets a piece to stay alive. Another foul ball. The count remains 0-2. Great battle going on here in a tie game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Varland 1 strike away from getting out of it. Hill trying to come through and give the Sox the lead. He struck him out. Varland pumps a high fastball right by him at 94, and Hill can't catch up. That's the 3rd out, but what an inning for the White Sox. They scored 2 to tie the game, and we're heading to the 9th, locked up at 2. All right, folks, we enter the top of the 9th, and it's a brand new ball game at 2-all. The White Sox are making a move to the bullpen. Grant Taylor is taking over on the mound for Tyler Davis. He'll be facing Nasim Nunez to lead off for the Nats in this crucial frame. Grant Taylor starts things off hot. A 98-mile-per-hour fastball right down Broadway for a called strike. Nunez behind 0-1. Taylor fires in another fastball, this one a 99. Painted the corner for another called strike. Nunez is quickly down 0-2. Taylor is looking locked in. He blew him away. 101-mile-per-hour fastball up in the zone, and Nunez swings and misses. That's 3 strikes, 1 out on the top of the 9th. Now at the plate is Keibert Ruiz, the catcher. He's 1 for 3 on the day with that double earlier. Taylor is coming off a big strikeout, so let's see if he can keep that momentum going against Ruiz. Wait a second, we have an announcement. The Nationals are making a strategic substitution. Up steps C.J. Abrams, pinch hitting for Keibert Ruiz. 1 out, top of the 9th, score still locked at 2-2. Abrams will try to find a way to get on against Taylor, who just struck out the previous batter. Taylor starts Abrams with a nasty curveball. 84 miles an hour, beautiful break, right in there for a called strike. After those fastballs, that's a huge change in velocity. 0-1 the count. Taylor tries the curveball again, but this one stays high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Abrams. Taylor's mixing up his pitches really well so far. Dials up the fastball again, and wow, 99 miles per hour. Abrams swings right through it. After setting him up with curveballs, that velocity jump is incredibly tough to catch. The count moves to 1-2, and Taylor is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. He got him, an 87-mile-per-hour curveball down in the dirt, and Abrams swings and misses. Catcher Drew Romo completes the play, throwing down to Munetaka Murakami at first base. Strikeout for out number 2, and we're still tied in the 9th. Two outs now in the top of the 9th, and the game is still knotted at 2-2. Grant Taylor has been electric coming out of the bullpen, racking up 2 strikeouts already. He's looking to settle things down and give his offense a chance in the bottom half. Up next for the Nationals is left fielder James Wood. Wood is looking to break through. He's hitless today, but did draw a walk earlier. Taylor versus Wood, an important showdown, especially with how hot Taylor's throwing. Taylor starts Wood with a curveball on the corner, 85 miles an hour, and that's a called strike. Taylor's been mixing his speed beautifully, and Wood is behind 0-1 with 2 outs. He hits it well, a sharp line drive out toward left, but Tanner Murray's right there to make the catch, and that retires the side. Grant Taylor comes in and shuts him down. We head to the bottom of the 9th, still tied at 2-2. All right, we're going to the bottom of the 9th, and we're tied here at 2. Before we get started, a defensive change for the Nationals. Drew Millis is now catching, replacing C.J. Abrams. Now leading off for the White Sox is Drew Romo, facing left-hander Cionel Perez. Let's see if we get some drama. All right, folks, it all comes down to this. Top of the 9th, and we are tied at 2 apiece. The Nationals are going to the bullpen, bringing in the lefty Cionel Perez to face Drew Romo. Washington making a defensive switch as well, with Millis going in behind the plate. Let's see who blinks first in this final frame.
And before the first pitch is even thrown, back up goes the hand. Drew Romo stepping out of the box, calling timeout. Just trying to disrupt Perez's rhythm, maybe take a breath himself. A little gamesmanship here in the final moments. The tension, palpable. Perez finally delivers, and it's a fastball up and in, missing the zone for ball one. So Perez starts the batter off with a ball, and the count stands at 1-0 with nobody out. The 1-0 pitch, and it's a curveball low. Romo didn't chase. Perez fallen behind 2-0 now. He needs to find the strike zone soon, or he's going to put the potential winning run on base to start the inning. Perez comes back with another curveball, and this time Romo swings and fouls it off. That slows the momentum, getting him back in the count. 2 balls and a strike now with nobody on. Ooh, and another curveball low misses outside. Perez has fallen behind 3-1. He's got to bring it into the zone here, or Romo takes first base. The pressure is squarely on the pitcher now. Ball 4. Perez misses with the fastball and Romo draws the walk. So the Chicago White Sox have the winning run on base to start the bottom of the 9th inning, and there are still no outs. This game is getting really interesting. And now stepping in, Andrew Benintendi, looking to shake off a rough day at the plate. He's faced Perez before, but this situation, it doesn't get much bigger. Romo on first with that winning run, no outs. Will the White Sox try to move him over or let Benintendi swing away? Perez starting Benintendi right off with a sinker catching the outside corner for a called strike. Good start for the lefty Perez. Getting ahead in the count, 0-1, no outs, winning run on first. Benintendi is going to need to be patient here. Benintendi touches that one, but fouls it off. It was a slurve down in the zone. So the count now goes to 2 strikes and no balls. Perez in the driver's seat here in the 9th with a chance to get a crucial out. Benintendi in a deep hole now. And Perez throws over to first, trying to keep Romo honest down there, but he gets back safely. Just a little disengagement to break Benintendi's rhythm and give Romo a second to think. The count stays 0-2. Perez tries to bury that slurve in the dirt, but Benintendi lays off. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Smart take by the batter, not expanding the zone in a crucial spot. Winning run still sitting on first. He tried the slurve again, but Benintendi lays off again. Up high this time. From 0-2, Benintendi's worked the count even at 2-2. Great discipline from the veteran. Bottom of the 9th, winning run on first, no outs. What's Perez got next? Benintendi fights off another tough pitch. Perez came with the slurve again, and Benintendi managed to stay alive, fouling it back. We're still at 2-2. The tension is through the roof here in the bottom of the 9th. Winning run on first, no outs. And another foul. Perez is bringing the heat with that sinker, but Benintendi is just battling up there. He refuses to give in. Count still at 2-2. This at-bat is becoming quite a marathon. This battle continues. Up comes the slurve and Benintendi fouls it off again. Pitch number 8 coming up. Both pitcher and batter are digging deep right now. Still no outs. Winning run on first.
And finally, a result. Benintendi lifts a fly ball to right field, and Joey Wiemer settles under it for the first out. A marathon at bat with a quiet end. Romo has to hold on first, and there's one gone now in the bottom of the ninth. Here comes Murakami, looking to be the hero. And next up for the Sox, Munetaka Murakami. He's had a tough time today, 3 strikeouts, but his power is still dangerous. Bottom of the ninth, 1 out, tie game, Romo on first. Can Murakami come through with a big hit, or will Perez notch another out? Murakami grounds that sinker right to Meade at second. Force play at second, Meade to Nunez. Romo is out. But Murakami is hustling down the line, and he beats the relay to first. So it's a 4-6 fielder's choice. 2 outs now with Murakami on first. Now up for the Sox, Miguel Vargas. 2 outs now with Murakami on first representing the winning run. Vargas has already doubled today, so he's seen Perez pretty well. A base hit here and right field is going to go crazy. Perez is looking to close this out and send the game to extra innings. Here's the first pitch coming up. Perez starts Vargas off with a curveball up and that way. That's ball 1. So the count starts 1-0. With 2 outs, Murakami leads off first. Perez really needs to focus here. Can't let this inning spiral out of control in a tie game. Perez brings the heat, a 95.5-mile-per-hour fastball, but it's low and wide for ball 2. Count now 2-0 to Miguel Vargas. Perez struggling to find the zone here. This is a very dangerous count with a potential game-winning run on base and 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Another fastball misses. That's 3 in a row, and Perez is behind the batter Vargas 3-0. The entire ballpark is holding their breath right now. Bottom of the ninth, winning run on first, no outs. Perez desperately needs a strike here. And it's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Vargas from Perez, who just couldn't find the plate. That moves Murakami up to second, so now the winning run is at second base with 2 outs. The stadium is electric. A base hit wins it right here. And the catcher's going out to talk to him. Mound visit here. They got to get Perez settled down. He just walked back-to-back batters on 9 pitches. Tying run on second, winning run on first, 2 outs. Colson Montgomery is waiting. This is the ball game right here. And after the visit, Perez throws ball 1, a sinker low. That's 10 balls in a row from Perez. The count 1-0 to Montgomery. Bottom of the ninth, winning run on second, 2 outs. Perez has to find the plate or he could walk the game away. Perez gets back into the count with a hard sinker, 94 miles an hour, and Montgomery fouls it off. That breaks the streak of balls. The count is now even at 1-1. We are still in the bottom of the ninth, tie ball game, 2 on, 2 out. Massive pressure on every pitch. We are in the bottom of the ninth with a tie game at 2. The White Sox are threatening with runners on first and second, but there are 2 outs. Cionel Perez just threw another sinker to get it to 1-2 on Colson Montgomery. Montgomery will need to protect the plate here. Time called here by Montgomery, just trying to take a breather, maybe break the rhythm of Perez a bit. And who can blame him? The potential winning run is at second, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Huge situation here.
Perez ready again after the timeout. The 1-2 pitch, and he swings and misses for strike 3. High heat from Perez, and Montgomery can't catch up to it. What a clutch pitch in a critical situation. The White Sox strand the winning run in scoring position, and folks, we're going to extra innings tied at 2. All right, folks, we're headed to extra innings here at Wright Field, tied up at 2-2. And as we start the top of the 10th, the White Sox are making a move to the bullpen. Jordan Leasure takes over on the mound, replacing Grant Taylor. He'll face the Nationals' Curtis Mead to get things started. And per the extra inning rule, James Wood is placed on second base to represent the potential go-ahead run. So, nobody out, runner in scoring position for Curtis Mead. Leasure looks in for the sign. First pitch from Leasure is a slider just outside, ball 1. Mead leads off with the count in his favor, trying to drive in that go-ahead run. Leasure pumps in a fastball, 96 miles per hour right down the pipe for a called strike. Interesting note, looks like we might have a challenge on that call, but for now it stands. The count is even at 1-1, no outs. Well, the review showed that last pitch was actually a ball, so scratch that fastball call. Now Leasure comes back and gets a big swing and a miss on a slider. Important strike there. The count is now evened up at 2-1, with Wood still hovering on second with nobody out. Leasure misses with the fastball, up and away at 96 miles per hour. That's ball 3. Now in a 3-1 hole against Mead, and Leasure needs to find the strike zone here or risk putting runners on first and second with no outs. He missed it. Ball 4. Leasure throws a slider away and Mead won't chase it. That's a walk, so Curtis Mead heads down to first base. Now the Nationals have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the 10th. The pressure is really on Jordan Leasure now. Coming up now is the left-handed hitting Luis Garcia Jr. He's got a huge opportunity here. First and second, nobody out, and looking to break this tie. Jordan Leasure trying to find some command after walking Mead. Garcia fouls off the first pitch, a slider from Leisure at 89.6 miles per hour. So the count is 0-1 with runners on first and second, nobody out. Garcia fouls that one back as well, a 96-mile-per-hour fastball from Leisure. He's down 0-2 in the count against the reliever. Leisure trying to slam the door and get an out without letting those runners advance. Tail ball game, top of the 10th. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Garcia in an 0-2 Cole, and Leisure steps off the rubber, just keeping those runners in check, maybe trying to break the batter's rhythm a little bit. Important pitch coming up. Baseball. Garcia takes a slider and lines it into left field. Wood advances to third, Meade to second, and loaded up with nobody out. What a jam for Leisure. The Nationals are threatening big here in the 10th. And here comes the pitching coach to talk to Leisure. Bases loaded, nobody out, and it's getting tense out there. They're definitely trying to settle him down and regroup before facing Brady House. First pitch after the visit, a fastball from Leisure painted the corner for a called strike. That's a good start for him. He needs all the help he can get in this tough situation. Strike one to House. Leisure pumps in another fastball, this one 97 miles per hour, and House swings right through it. Now he's ahead 0-2. The mound visit seems to have worked. Leisure has found a rhythm, getting ahead of House in emphatic fashion. With the bases still packed and nobody out, House is really backed into a corner here. Leisure tries to get House to chase that slider away, but it misses too far outside. The count moves to 1-2. The tension is palpable here with the winning run just 90 feet away. Leisure holds the advantage, but he has zero room for error. What's the pitch here? High heat or another breaking ball closer to the zone? Oh, what a disastrous turn of events. Leisure throws a pitch that Romo just can't handle behind the plate. It's a pass ball, and James Wood comes racing home to score. The Nationals take the lead 3-2. And to make matters worse for the White Sox, the other runners, Meade and Garcia, they both advance on a wild pitch on that same play. So now it's runners on second and third and still nobody out. The crowd is stunned. House hangs tough, fouling off a blazing 97-mile-per-hour heater. The count holds at 1-2. A brutal blow for the White Sox on that pass ball. They now trail 3-2, and the fire is still raging with runners on second and third and nobody out. Leisure needs a strikeout in the worst way. Key moment here. Leisure brings the heat at 96, and House swings right through it. That's a huge strikeout for Jordan Leisure, bringing in the first out of the inning. After that tough pass ball, that's exactly what the White Sox needed. Now with one down, runners are still at second and third, but there's a crack of light for Chicago. Still in the top of the 10th, it's a 3-2 lead for the Washington Nationals, and they are threatening for more with the bases loaded and only one out. We've got another twist in this extra inning drama as the Nationals are calling on a pinch hitter. Jorbit Vivas is coming in to replace Jacob Young in the batting order. Big moment for Vivas off the bench. Can he bust this game wide open? First pitch to the pinch hitter Jorbit Vivas is a slider for a called strike. Leisure getting ahead in the count 0-1. Big pitch coming up here, looking for another strikeout to bring on the White Sox last out.
Fastball up high at 97, and Vivas holds up. Count even at 1-1. Bases loaded, 1 out, close game. The drama continues to build. One ball, one strike, 1 out. Pressure mounting. Leisure delivers, and Vivas swings through it. A big whiff there, and now Leisure is in command with a 1-2 count. He's just 1 strike away from escaping this bases-loaded jam and keeping the White Sox within 1.
Vivas steps out of the box, calling time. And you can cut the tension with a knife here, folks. Top of the 10th, Nationals clinging to a 3-2 lead, but Leisure has the bases juiced against him. He's got the count at 1-2 on Vivas. He's looking for that huge second out, the strikeout. Let's see if this timeout breaks his rhythm or helps the batter reset. Time over, Vivas digs back in. Leisure offers a slider and Vivas fouls it away, battling to stay in this at-bat. Critical situation here. Bases are packed, score is 3-2 for Washington, and the count holds firm at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got him! Leisure strikes out Vivas, swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts to get the second out. Clutch pitching. Top of the 10th inning, and it's gotten tense for the White Sox. The Nationals have scored 1 already to take a 3-2 lead, and now they've loaded the bases with 2 out. Joey Wiemer, who's had a rough day going 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, comes to the plate with a chance to really break this game open. Jordan Leisure looking to get out of it right here. Here's the pitch. Jordan Leisure opens things up with a high fastball, clocked at 95 miles per hour. Wiemer takes it, and it's ball 1. Nowhere to put him here. Leisure really needs to attack the zone. Leisure snaps off a slider right over the plate. Wiemer watches it go for a called strike. That makes the count 1-1. The bases are jammed, they're 2 down, and this extra inning battle hangs in the balance. Leisure misses outside with another fastball, this one at 96 miles per hour. That pushes the count to 2-1. Wiemer's showing some discipline here, making Leisure work his way back into the zone. He gets him looking. An 87-mile-per-hour slider paints the bottom edge of the zone. That makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. A massive pitch here with the bases loaded and 2 out in the top of the 10th. And it looks like the Nationals are going to challenge that call. Wait, it looks like we're still in a holding pattern here. That last called strike on Wiemer is being reviewed. The bases are packed, there are 2 outs in the top of the 10th, and the whole game hinged on that decision. The tension continues to build as we wait for the result of this review. The Nationals are challenging that last called strike on Joey Wiemer. If upheld, the count remains 2-2. If overturned, it becomes a full count. Imagine the pressure on Jordan Leisure out there on the mound, trying to close out this game for the White Sox, with the winning run potentially coming to the plate in the bottom half. It appears we've received the same data again, showing the sequence leading up to the review. We're still waiting on the official word from upstairs about that strike call on Wiemer. Final decision is in, and the call stands. That slider was indeed a strike. So we're back to a full count, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Joey Wiemer, with the bases loaded and 2 out. The pressure is on Leisure to make a perfect pitch here. Oh, a slider in the dirt. Wiemer lays off, and good block by Romo to keep it in front. That fills up the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 out in the top of the 10th. The runners will all be in motion on the pitch. This is what it all comes down to. And he misses. Another slider down and away, and that's ball 4. Joey Wiemer draws a walk, and because the bases were loaded, that forces in Curtis Mead from third. The Nationals extend their lead to 4-2 and move those runners up 90 feet. A big patient at-bat from Wiemer to pick up a key RBI. Time is called, and here comes the mound visit for the White Sox. Pitching coach going out to have a word with Jordan Leisure. You can't blame them. He just walked in a run to make it 4-2, and the bases are still loaded here in the top of the 10th with 2 outs. Nasim Nunez, the shortstop, is waiting at the plate. A crucial moment for Chicago to try and escape further damage. Mound visit concluded, and here comes Nasim Nunez. The bases are still loaded, 2 outs, Nationals leading 4-2. First pitch from Leisure is a high fastball at 96, but it misses low. Ball 1. Leisure needs to find the strike zone now. Leisure falls behind further, missing with another fastball down and away. That's 2-0 now on Nunez. You can feel the collective breath holding at right field. Leisure has to find the strike zone before he forces in another run. He pumps in a fastball right at 95 miles per hour, and Nunez swings through it. There's an aggressive strike Leisure needed. That brings the count to 2-1. Still plenty of trouble hanging over the White Sox, though, with the bases loaded. Leisure misses again with the fastball up and away. The count is now 3-1 on Nasim Nunez. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Leisure cannot afford another ball here, or he'll walk in another run just like he did with Wiemer. High-pressure moment for the White Sox pitcher. Leisure battles back, pumps in a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, and Nunez swings through it. We've got a full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, bases loaded in the top of the 10th. The runners will be in motion. This next pitch decides it all. The runners are going on the pitch, and Nunez hits a ground ball through the right side, base hit. Garcia scores from third, Lyle is around second, and he's heading for the plate. He's in safely. Wiemer motors to third, and it's a 2-run single for Nasim Nunez. The Nationals blow this one open in the 10th, leading 6-2. Well, the bleeding hasn't stopped, and manager takes the slow walk to the mound. That'll be it for Jordan Leisure after that back-breaking 2-run single by Nunez. The Nationals have opened up a 6-2 lead. Oswaldo Bido is summoned from the pen, and he'll inherit a mess. Runners on first and third, still with 2 out. He's got to find a way to get Drew Millis and get this game to the bottom of the 10th.
Osvaldo Bito's first pitch is an 88.6-mile-per-hour cutter, and it misses outside for ball one. On the pitch, Nasim Nunez jogs into second base uncontested. Romo held on to the ball, a purely defensive indifference move with Washington already up by 4. Now it's runners on second and third, still with 2 out. All right, Bito's first offering was a cutter that missed, ball one. And as that pitch went by, Nunez took off for second, and there was absolutely no throw from Romo. Defensive indifference there, and that's understandable with a 4-run lead in extra frames. So now it's runners on second and third, still with 2 outs, and Millis is ahead in the count 1-0. Bito misses again, this time high with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. That makes it 2-0 on Millis. Bito needs to refocus here. He's behind in the count and cannot force another runner in. Runners on second and third, 2 out, top of the 10th, Nationals up 6-2. Bito gets back in the count. He paints the edge with a 94-mile-per-hour heater for a called strike. Count goes to 2-1. Millis is at the plate with Weimer on third and Nunez on second. 2 outs. Bito establishes the fastball again, this one at 94 miles per hour, hitting the zone for another called strike. Bito has battled back to even the count at 2-2. Nationals leading 6-2 here in the top of the 10th. 2 outs, but runners on second and third for Washington. Time is called. Millis stepping out of the box. A veteran move here with the count 2-2, trying to break up Bito's rhythm. Big tension still hanging over this at-bat. Washington looking to put this one completely away. A new pitcher on the mound for the White Sox as Osvaldo Bito takes the hill, replacing Jordan Lazier. He's inherited a runner on third and 2 outs, trying to stop the bleeding in this 10th inning. The Nationals have put on a show this frame, scoring 4 runs. At the plate is Drew Millis, hitting from the left side. The count is 1-2 as we resume play, and Bito's pitch is ball 1. Nunez takes off for second, and there's no throw from Romo. Defensively, they're not worried about the runner, so that's defensive indifference. Next pitch is ball 2, count 2-0. And now back-to-back fastballs get the called strike, even in the count 2-2. Millis takes a timeout right here, trying to slow things down. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 10th. And the next pitch is fouled away. Millis stays alive. Millis hangs in there, fouling off another fastball. So the count stays tight at 2-2 with 2 away. Runners on second and third for the Nationals, looking to add even more to their lead here in the 10th. Bito versus Millis. The 2-2 pitch coming up. Bito tried to get Millis to chase a slider down, but it was well low, blocked by the catcher. So the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. A payoff pitch coming up with all eyes on it. Full count, 2 on, 2 outs. Bito deals, and Millis grounds one to third. Vargas fields it cleanly, fires to first, and they get him just in time, inning over. So the Nationals put up a 4 spot in the 10th and hold on to a 6-2 lead. Time for the bottom of the 10th.
We move to the bottom of the 10th inning here at Rate Field. The home team, Chicago White Sox, are down by 4, trailing 6-2 to the Nationals after a big 4-run top of the frame for Washington. Leading off for Chicago will be Everson Pereira. He'll be facing Brad Lord. And before the first pitch is thrown, it looks like the Nats are making a change defensively.
To the bottom of the 10th
James
inning,
Wood moves over from left field to take over
trailing
right.
6-2. Before we get started, some defensive changes on the National side. James Wood moves from left to right field, and Dalen Lyle slides over to cover left. Everson Pereira will lead things off against Brad Lord. We're back for the bottom of the 10th inning at Rate Field. The Nationals lead the White Sox by a score of 6-2. Before we get started with the action, we've got some defensive changes for Washington. James Wood is moving from left field to right, Dalen Lyle stays in left, and Joey Wiemer slides over to center field. Now stepping in for the Sox, Everson Pereira. He's
All
1
right,
for
we're
4
in the
on the
bottom
day.
of the 10th inning, and it's the Washington Nationals leading the White Sox 6-2. We have a pitching change here for Washington. Brad Lord is coming in to face Everson Pereira. There are no outs on the board. We also have a defensive shuffle. James Wood moves to right field, Joey Wiemer takes center, and Dalen Lyle is now holding down left. Pereira comes in 1 for 4 on the day. And as the extra innings continue, we've got our automatic runner on second. Colson Montgomery takes his place, and we're ready to start the bottom of the 10th. No outs, a runner in scoring position, and the White Sox down by 4. Pereira grounds this one hard toward Curtis Mead at second. Mead fields it cleanly, fires to Garcia at first for the easy out, but the runner Montgomery advances to third on the play. So 1 out now with the tying run 90 feet away, but the White Sox still trail 6-2. And that brings up Tanner Murray with a chance to chip away at this deficit. Runner on third, 1 out, White Sox down by 4. Brad Lord looking to shut the door. Lord delivers the first pitch of the at-bat to Tanner Murray, and it's up high for a ball. Fastball clocked at 95 miles per hour. The count is now 1-0. Lord is struggling to find the zone here. This next pitch is a sinker, and it misses low and away. That's ball 2, and Tanner Murray is ahead in the count 2-0 now with a runner on third. There's a fastball down the middle, and Murray fouls it back. Hard cut by Murray, but he can't connect. Lord finally gets a strike in there, and the count is now 2-1. Ground ball to the left side, and it's fouled off. Murray is staying alive here. That's a sinker at nearly 95 miles per hour, and the count is evened up at 2-2. 2 strikes, 1 out. Pressure's on with that runner on third. Murray drives this one deep to center field. Wiemer is back. He makes the catch, but that'll get the run home. Montgomery tags up from third and scores. It's a sacrifice fly for Tanner Murray, getting the Sox on the board in the 10th. They've trimmed the lead to 6-3, but there are now 2 outs. Murray delivers the full count pitch, and Murray connects, sending a fly ball deep to center field. Joey Wiemer makes the catch, but that's deep enough to do the job. Colson Montgomery tags from third and sprints home to score. It's a sacrifice fly for Tanner Murray, getting the Sox on the board in the 10th. They've trimmed the lead to 6-3, but there are now 2 outs. Chase Meadroth is coming up, hoping to keep this rally going. Timeout called by the batter, Chase Meadroth, taking a moment to step out and regroup here. 2 outs, nobody on, Sox still trailing by 3. Back after the timeout, Meidroth settles in against Lord. Big fastball from the righty, but it misses outside for ball 1. Counts 1-0. White Sox are down 6-3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. Lord comes back with another fastball, this time painting the corner for a called strike. Beautiful pitch at 93 miles per hour. The count is now 1-1. White Sox down to their last strike potentially. Lord goes slider there at 87 miles per hour, and Meidroth gets a piece to foul it back. So it's still 1-2, and the Nationals are now 1 strike away from ending this game. And another foul ball. Meidroth is making Lord work in this at-bat. He spoils that slider, staying alive with a 1-2 count. White Sox down to their last strike. And there's a ground ball, deflected by Brady House at third. It goes through to left field, and Meidroth is going to reach first safely. The Sox are still alive. 2 outs, runner on first, and they're still trailing by 3 in the bottom of the 10th. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 10th, 2 outs. The White Sox are still fighting but trailing 6-3. Chase Meidroth extended this game with that base hit, and now he's on first. Derek Hill steps up, trying to keep the rally alive for Chicago. Brad Lord is on the mound, just 1 out away from securing a win for the Nationals. Hill is 1 for 4 today, and you know he's looking to put something in play. The stage is set for a dramatic finish here at Rate Field. First pitch of the at-bat to Hill, and he throws a sinker that misses low and outside. Clocked at 94 miles per hour, so the count is 1-0. 2 outs, runner on first, and Derek Hill is trying to keep this game alive for Chicago. Lord offers up a slider, and Hill swings and misses. Fooled him completely on that one. 85 miles per hour, so the count is evened up at 1-1. The Nationals are just 1 strike away from wrapping this one up, while Derek Hill is trying to keep the game alive. And the batter Derek Hill decides to step out and call time, taking a moment to breathe in a tense situation. Count is 1-1, 2 outs, White Sox trailing by 3 in the bottom of the 10th. Lord is ready to deliver, but now he'll have to wait. We're down to the final strike for the White Sox. Lord comes with a 94-mile-per-hour sinker, and Hill gets a piece to foul it back and stay alive. Meidroth was on the move on that pitch, so the count holds at 1-2. Huge moment for both teams. Can Lord finish it off, or will Hill keep Chicago's hopes alive? And yet another foul ball. Hill is battling hard here. Lord threw an 86-mile-per-hour slider, and Hill gets a piece to stay alive. Meidroth was off with the pitch again, so the count stays at 1-2. The fans are on the edge of their seats. Can Lord collect that final strike, or will Hill come up with a big hit? He fouls another one back. That's 4 foul balls in a row for Hill, staying right in there against Lord on an 85-mile-per-hour slider. Meidroth was running again. Still 1-2, and the White Sox are down to their last strike. Can Hill keep this game going, or will Lord get the final out? Two outs, bottom of the 10th, and the White Sox are down to their final chance. The runner Meidroth is taken off. Lord deals slightly on the outside. Grounded to shortstop. Nasim Nunez scoops it, fires to first. Got him. And this ball game is over. The Washington Nationals win a thrilling extra inning contest, 6-3. And that's all, folks. Final score here at Guaranteed Rate Field. The Washington Nationals get the win in extra innings, supercharged by a big 10th, topping the White Sox 6-3. Thanks for joining us on the broadcast. I'm Aikawa, and good night from Chicago.